Elden Ring loves its boss fights, and I for one love them too. Well, most of them. There's some that are a little too much, but we're not gonna talk about that today. Because one thing I love more than the boss fights themselves are the boss designs. You got Malekith, who's like a dope, dark, deaf dog. Melina, who's like a wounded, but still very tough Valkyrie. And Estelle, who's like a dragonfly, centipede, creature, space skeleton, man, monster thing. But my point being is that the designs are cool, which prompted me to have a cool idea myself. For today, I'm going to be fusing multiple boss designs into one boss design. And I'm not doing just two bosses into one, not three, not four. No, 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 no. I am a Souls enjoyer, and so that means I'm a masochist at heart. And also, you read the title, so you kind of already know what the deal is. Today, I'm going to be fusing all Elden Ring bosses, specifically the Remembrance ones, into one beautiful abomination boss design using the power of art. So, without further ado, let me show you what I got. So the first thing I decided to do was give the boss a humanoid figure slash form, because I didn't feel like drawing a dog or a snake or this or that. I just wanted to draw something simple like a human or a person. My idea was to represent a piece of each of the bosses in some way, while at the same time making sure the fusion boss stood out as their own individual and not just a slapped together Frankenstein-esque kind of monster. I wanted these pieces to come together and form a whole instead of just being a group of individual pieces, if that makes sense. So as you can see, I gave it antlers to represent the regal ancestor spirit. I think I gave it multiple faces to represent Rykar because I felt like that embodied him pretty good, because that was one of the biggest reveals, in my opinion, from Elden Ring, where you're fighting the god devouring snake, and then it does like a 180 after you kill it. And it's like, oh snap, there's a face on this snake, and then you're like, oh snap, the snake is a dude, and then he like sprouts arms, and he looks at you, and then he reverse deep throats a sword, and he's like, very well. And it's just, I love Rykar. Rykar is like one of my favorite bosses. But anyway, the red hair is from Melania. I gave it horns as a collar to represent Moog and Morgott. Extra hands from Godric, a giant eye in the chest from the fire giant. The weapon has the design of Godfrey's weapon. The dragon wings, Placidus Axe and Fortis Axe, I turned into like a dress-like kind of skirt, and it has Estelle's tail with Radahn's like helmet hair as the tip of the tail to kind of represent like a space lion tail kind of thing. I don't know what I was going for there. And the bare feet are from Manala, because I couldn't think of anything else to give her, because I yeah. And things were going swimmingly until I started thinking I didn't like this. I didn't like where it was going. I wasn't really enjoying drawing it at all. I wasn't having a lot of fun. I was having a bad art day, which made me like depressed, and I was really not motivated to finish this drawing, and so I didn't. I gave up. After like 7 hours of working on it, 7 or 8 hours of working on it, I gave up and I quit, and I was done with it. I wasn't even gonna make this video, and I was just I was a quitter. I was like, F it, I'm done. But for some reason, in the back of my head, I kept thinking about this drawing, and I'm like, I can't go down as a quitter. I can't give up on this. I can't just let it end like this. And so after like I think it was a couple hours, like after like 5 hours or 6 hours, I was like, you know what, let me try again. And so I got back up, I deleted most of what I had, and I started somewhat from scratch, and I started working on it. I started pushing myself. I started driving myself to finish this. I was like, I can't give in, I can't give up, I won't give up. And then after like 30 minutes, I gave up again. I gave up. I'm sorry, I gave up again, and then oh man. But then after giving up a second time, I went into it a third time, And for real this time, I actually tried and pushed myself, and I started completely from scratch. So I just completely erased like 7 to 8 hours of work, and was just like, let me just start from the very beginning. And then I just went with it. I just kept pushing myself and trying to finish this drawing that wasn't even supposed to be that serious. It was supposed to be like a little fun sketch kind of thing. But I even did like a new art style that I don't really do a lot. I did like a pencil sketch kind of thing. But yeah, I ended up enjoying it. I ended up enjoying it more, and I'm glad I continued pushing through it. So let me walk you through what I did for the second time. So the hat is obviously Renala's, except I flipped it backwards because you gotta be a little cool. You gotta have a little angst to yourself. And also I tried to make it a little different than just having a Renala hat, and so I flipped it backwards, and apparently that worked. That made it different enough to satisfy me. In hindsight, I probably would have put it on the shoulders as like a shoulder guard kind of thing. That would have been kind of cool, like one on each shoulder. That would have been a little different than just a hat. But you win some, you lose some. For the hair, this time I chose to take Malekith's hair and make it like the hair of the character, because I felt like having the red hair from Melania made it look too much like Melania or like Radagon or like their distant cousin or something, and I didn't want that. And so I chose Malekith's hair because his hair is pretty cool to me, and it's very unique because no one else has like long white flowy hair except what's his name, Godfrey, but it's not really that long. It's yeah, this design still has the antlers, but this time they're like fused into the hat, and so now they're like golden antlers. I didn't really feel like drawing a face, and so instead I ended up making Fire Giant's like torso eye, just the face for the character, because I didn't feel like drawing a nose or a mouth or like an actual like anything resembling a face, and so it's just a big old Cyclops face now. And the cape is ripped straight from Melania, and sad to say, it never actually becomes a cape. It just stays as like a little like shoulder piece, because I pretty much immediately after I drew it, I immediately forgot that it was a cape and just like ignored the rest of it and didn't draw the rest of the cape, and so now it's just like a little shoulder scarf kind of piece, but I still like it that way. The black arm is inspired off of Radagon's and Elden Beast's like cosmic limb body misshapen thing that they got going on, so I thought that was pretty cool. The dragon wings are still a skirt, but this time I added Estelle's wings to it to make it like more of a fuller skirt, I guess. I don't know. I tried to add something different from Estelle besides his tail, because I felt like that was gonna make him it gave him too much of a space vibe, and I didn't want that. I still kept the multiple arms to reference Godric. The tail is now Rykard's tail. It's supposed to be a snake tail, but even though in the final render it doesn't really look like a snake tail, but we're not going to talk about that because I don't want to talk about that, because I didn't feel like drawing a snake tail, and you don't really care because I don't care, because yeah. And the weapon is still based on Godfrey's axe, but this time I added Radahn's sword to the design because I didn't know what to do with Radahn, because Radahn is cloaked in armor and he has a Leonard horse, and I didn't know how to add a piece of him that like fit the design, and so he's a weapon now. He's part of the weapon now. And I still think it looks cool, so yay Radahn. For some reason I decided to render this drawing in like a pencil sketch kind of design. I don't know why. I don't ever really do this. I think I did it like one time before, but it's not like a recurring thing for me, but I just felt like drawing it that way. In the future I probably won't do it again because it doesn't really clash well with colors, in my opinion. This would be more for a black and white kind of thing, and so if I ever do like a black and white drawing again, I might do the pencil sketch thing again. But if it's all gonna be color, then no, it doesn't really look that great with color, in my opinion. But I don't know, maybe you guys will like it, who knows. So yeah, after a few extra touches, a few minor details, a few little sprinkles of pizzazz here and there, I finished after, I think this took me like 6-7 hours maybe, which is pretty long considering how it looks, but at the end of the day I was pretty satisfied with it. I give it like a 6.5 out of 10. It's pretty alright. It's like slightly like, it's like it just reached past the point of average for me. I don't think I quite accomplished my goal of it being like a unified, unique, individual kind of boss. From the top half, I would say it looks pretty unique and like individual, but then like once you get to the waist down, it starts looking like a random assortment of pieces that I didn't really know how to fit together. Like it just seems like a bunch of like random junk fused together at the waist down. Waist up, it looks pretty cool. Waist up, it could be his own character. Like it looks like it doesn't really look like an Elden Ring character. It looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh or like a Persona character, but I still think it looks cool. So yeah, this is my fuse boss design. I hope you like it. For the name, I think I'm gonna call him George. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Let me know if I did a good job or a bad job, and I don't know, maybe you want to do this challenge for yourself. Maybe you want to design a cool fuse boss thing, and maybe you want to do better than me or worse than me. Please do worse than me, don't hurt my feelings. But yeah, be sure to subscribe, like, be sure to follow my Instagram at duh.mir for all the content that you can't get on YouTube or anywhere else, like more drawings. But yeah, bye.